Welcome to Siyafunda program once more. Namhlanje ngifuna sibheke itopic esibiza ngokuthi data handling or statistics. Isikhathi esiningi you'll find people, big companies like Stats SA or Statistics South Africa, they use this topic a lot, and any other organization uses this to collect information from a particular population, interpret it, organize it, then use it for a particular purpose. Hence, it is important that we should understand this topic, the data handling or the statistics. What is it that we call statistics or data handling? It is the field of mathematics which deals with collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpretation of data or information for a particular reason. The terms that we'll be using a lot is a term like data as well. You must know what is data. What do you mean by data? Data is the information that has been collected for a particular purpose as well. We call it the data. What is the population? Population is the field where we collect this information for a particular purpose. Where we collect, if in other words, if we go to KZN province and do some research there, the KZN then will be calling it the population. Another term that I want us to talk about just after population, before I go to this raw data, is the term called the sample. What is the sample? A sample is where you go to a population, you just take a few group of observations or of people that are going to represent your population. They must share the aspirations of this population, where you don't take everyone, but to touch in that community to represent the population. So we call that a sample. When you take a small out of the big population, then the raw data, it is the data that has not been processed. In other words, that has not been organized. We call that the raw data. That has just been processed. Right, I want us to move straight to 3 measures of central tendencies. Right, this is where we talk about, number 1, the first one out of the 3 is called the mean. The next one that we'll be talking about is called the median. And the last one is called the mode. These are called the 3 measures of central tendency. This is how we interpret our data. We organize our data. The mean, what is the mean? The mean is nothing else but the average. The average, I call it the average. There is a formula that we use for the mean. It is called X bar. This is the formula for the X bar. Remember, while you were doing your number patterns, we use this term, this symbol, which is called the sigma notation. This simply means the sum. So what is the average? If you've got a class of 50 and you want to find the average marks of their test, you add all their marks, you divide by the number of them. That is what we mean by mean in this particular case. It is equals to the sum of all the observations divided by the number of those observations. This is an important formula to be able to use when you're talking about the mean or the average. It is the sum of all the observations divided by the number of those observations. Number 2, we've got what we call the median. What is the median? Median is the middlemost observation. Suppose you've got a data. Let's just get a data out of the blue. We've got 17, 20, 30, 40. How many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just add another one here, 15. If I've got this data, if I'm looking for the median, a median is the middlemost observation after that data has been arranged in an ascending or descending order. So for me to be able to get to the median, I must be able to arrange this data first in an ascending or descending order. Suppose I'm arranging this data in an ascending order. Already it is in an ascending order. It goes up. This is 15, 17, 20, 30, and 40. Now it is arranged in an ascending order. It goes from the lowest to the biggest. Or I can start from 40 downwards. It doesn't matter where I start. So the median is the middlemost observation after the data has been arranged in an ascending or descending order. You're just looking for the observation that is at the center. Now, if I'm coming from this position, both of them, I will be moving. Where my fingers meet, it will be the middlemost one. So that is the middlemost one. That is what we call the median. But what? Let's look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an odd number. What if we've got an even number of these observations? Suppose we've got 30, 12, 17, 36, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just add the fifth one. 16. Oh, let me just use another one. 16, it's fine. Let me use 16. The first thing, for me to get to the median, the first thing I need to do is to arrange this data, either in the ascending order or descending order. Let's arrange it first. We take this data, we arrange it. Let me start from the smallest. The smallest in this case, it is 12, followed by 16. The next observation after 16, I've done 12, I've done 16. The next one will be 17. The next one will be 30. The next one will be 36. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got five observations there. If I'm looking for the median of this one, let's look at it. I'm starting from there. I'm there. Oh, it's still 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to make, I want to make this one the even number. If this is 36, if I'm adding 40 in this one, so I've got to add 40 in this one, so that I will have the even numbers. So those were the odd numbers. The odd numbers are very easy to get. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. The center one is the median. If I'm looking for the median in this one with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look. If I'm coming from this side, I will go there. I'll find them two. So these two, let me see. If they are arranged, this is 12, 16, 17, 30, 36, and 40. Yes, they are arranged. So I'm coming from there. I'll come again. These two are in the center. So if I'm looking for the median in this particular case, you add these two, then you divide it by 2. The value get there will be called the median. That is what we mean by the median. The last one is the mode. Mode is the observation that appears most often in any observations that we have. For example, if we have this data, let's just take this data to explain the word mode. If we've got the data 12, 16, 14, 8, 9, 8, 17, 6. Let's look at this data. It is 12, 16, 14, 8, 9, 8, 17, 6. Do you see any observation that appears the most there? I can see 8. We do have 8 there, and we also have 8 there. So we call that the mode of this data. So the mode is the observation that appears the most. At times you'll have two values. If I add another one here, maybe if I add 14, and I ask you what is the mode of this data, I've got 8, 1, 2. I also have 14, 1, 2. So we call this data bimodal because it has got two modes. It's 1, which is 14, and the second one is, so as you know, that bi means 2. So at times we'll have data that will have more than one mode. We call that kind of a data bimodal. These are the three measures of central tendencies. They will also help us to move on to another topic called the 5-number summary. Remember, I can be able to find the position of the median using what I will be explaining this side on what we call the 5-number summary. When you talk of the 5-number summary, let's look at it. We'll be asked to understand this section. It helps us a lot in our data handling. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Right. When looking at any data that you are given, you must be able to tell what is the smallest value, the smallest. And you must be able to tell what is the biggest. So you can find that in any data that we have there, which one is the smallest value, we'll refer to that as number 1. What is number 2? What is number 3? What is number 4? Number three, let me just jump to number three. Number three is what we call the median, the middlemost observation. Median, but this median we refer to it as Q2. This one will be referring it as Q1, quartile 1. This one will be called Q3. So when you get all these values, we'll be calling them the 5-number summary. You must be able to see the smallest there in the data. You must be able to find the biggest. You are organizing them. You must be able to find Q1, Q2, and Q3. Now, but this does not give you the exact value of Q1. They give you the position of Q1. Suppose you find that Q1 is 2. It means that it is position number 2. In this case, position number 2 is 12. So this gives you the position, not the actual Q1. So how do you find this? The smallest and the biggest is very easy to see. You just use your eyes. You see the biggest, the smallest value in that data, it will be 1. The biggest will be 5. So how do you find Q1, Q2, and Q3? Q1, to find the position, you find the position of Q1. What position is Q1? We use the formula which says Q1 is equals to 1 over 4. We call them quartile. This is called the lower quartile. Q1 is also referred to as the lower quartile. The formula to find it, Q1 is equals to 1 over 4 into n plus 1. This is the formula. It's important that you should know this formula because we are not given them in a formula sheet. The next one is called Q2. Remember, Q2 is the same as the median. It is the same as the median. Q2 is the same as the median. How do you find Q2? Q2, it is equals to 2 quarters, 2 over 4 into n plus 1. Hence, this will be equals to 1 over 2. 1 over 2 when you simplify it further. When you simplify it further, we know that it is 2 over 4, but we know that this will also be equals to 1 over 2 into n plus 1. This is how you find the position of the median, not the actual median. You find out it is position number what when you are given a bigger data. Q3, it is called the upper quartile. Q3 is the formula to find its position first. It is 3 over 4 into n plus 1. These are very important. How do you find the biggest value in a data? You just look at the data, you find the biggest. The smallest, it's very easy. How do you find the position of Q1 or the lower quartile? You just use the formula 1 over 4 into n plus 1, the number of them. Q2, it's 2 over 4 or 1 over 2 into n plus 1. The upper quartile, Q3, it's 3 over 4 into n plus 1. It is important that we must understand this 5-number summary because it is the same thing that is going to lead us into another topic called the box and whisker diagram. Thank you.